Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching Andor episode 8, and yeah, this is another pretty interesting episode where a lot of stuff is being built up. We get a little bit of each plot line, and it's getting more and more interesting as things are starting to tie together. We get a little bit of Deidre from the ISB with Cyril Karn kind of meeting each other. We see plot lines beginning to converge a little bit. So yeah, I hope that by the end of the season, everything's kind of tied together. The people investigating kind of meet up with the people doing the stuff. We'll get into it. So here we go. We're gonna go, I guess, plot line by plot line. First, we'll just go with Cyril Karn because this one's pretty short. So of course, he's now working at this little data center, and it turns out that he's been there for less than a month, and he's already sent in 5 false inquiries about Cassian Andor. Basically, he'll just write a report saying Cassian Andor did this, basically just trying to hunt him down any way he can. You know, he's got limited resources and limited power, obviously, because he's just, you know, a data analysis guy, really. But you know, he's plugged into the Imperial network now, so if he just types in Cassian Andor's name and whatever crime, maybe he'll find something. And this catches the attention of ISB Deidre, which is the blonde ISB officer that we've been following. And basically what we come across is like we get Cyril telling her everything that he knows, which is, I guess, a little bit more information, but basically about this mysterious guy, which of course we know is Luthen, but they're calling Axis because they don't know who he is, but Deidre's kind of put it together that this Axis character is like funneling funds and resources to different rebel groups across the galaxy and causing all these different events to happen, and it's all kind of tied to this one guy. And we're going to get into Luthen, but you know, basically Deidre's managed to say, okay, we need full surveillance on Ferrix. We need to, like, if anyone's talking on Ferrix, if anything's happening, we need to know, and this is going to become very important later. So that's basically what's happening. Oh, by the way, Yularen is there. Last episode I completely neglected to mention that Yularen was there, but he's there now. He's in the show. That's pretty cool. You know, he's kind of just he gives like a speech and he talks a little bit, but you know, it's cool that he's there. So that's there. So, I guess we'll go to Andor's plotline. Andor has, of course, been sent to prison, and the prison that he's being sent to, which is essentially this strange labor system. It's not like I don't know if you call it a labor camp, but it's more like basically it's this really sterile-looking facility where groups of 7 people will all start building these. I don't know what these are supposed to be. I don't know if these are like engines or what, but they're building something, and it's all this very systematic approach to everything. You know, it's like, all right, you have this much time to do this, you have this much time to get back to the room, you can only stand in the hall this long. You know, it's all just in this system of control that he's in, right? And he's pretty much just kind of going through it. You know, even at night you can't walk on the floor in the hallway because I guess you just die immediately. And of course at some point he's gonna have to get out of here, and the longer he stays here, eventually, you know, he's using a fake name obviously, but like Deidre and Cyril, they're both looking for him, you know, and so all they have to do is see his picture, you know, and the fact that he's already in an imperial jail, and then they'll know exactly where to get him. So that's pretty much all that's happening Andor wise. Like, you know, we really get a touch into like how their prison system works, and you know exactly what they have to do, this kind of forced labor, how there's like, oh, this is your debt here, you know, so they have like, even the prisoners are like owing money to the Empire because they're racking up a debt, I guess. And even one prisoner even says like, look, don't bother looking at the number, you're gonna be here until they don't want you to be here anymore. So the whole idea that, like, you know, oh, we get a cameo from oh my god, how am I blanking on his name? Golem. Wow, I'm blanking on his name. You know, the famous mocap actor that everyone loves. He's the awesome guy. I can't Oh my god, it's early in the morning. I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, Gollum from Lord of the Rings. he's here, and he's playing like the shift supervisor basically for this prison. So his whole thing is like, well, I'm gonna be out of here in like 200 days, but it's like, are you is that, because it kind of seems like that's just a lie the Empire tells you, and you'll owe them more money magically, and then you got to stay longer. They'll just keep you in prison for as long as they want, basically. So that's Andor. Next, I kind of want to talk about there's a whole situation with Ferrix and Luthen and the things going on there. So we basically, what happens is we go back to Ferrix. First, Cassian's mom is getting sick because apparently what she's been doing stuff on her own behind the scenes, and it's not entirely clear if she's been in communication with somebody, because apparently she was trying to make sure a door from a tunnel system is still being able to open, in case rebels wanted to use it as an entrance to get into the city, right? Like a secret passageway. And she had like fallen and slipped, and now she's kind of got a cold or something, so she's kind of getting sick, and she's basically, they don't have any way of communicating with Cassian, so basically Cassian's friends are the ones left to take care of his mom. But it's like, is she talking to rebels? Does she know something that's happening? Or is she just hoping that maybe the rebels would want to use this door one day? But either way, she's doing what she can, even if she's in bad health. Meanwhile, Bix, who we haven't seen in a little while, she tries to contact Luthen again, because she's like, hey, we don't know where Cassian's at. He just kind of left, and his mom's sick. Do you know anything? And on Luthen's side, Luthen and his little assistant, basically, his assistant's like, hey, look, you can't keep this line open. It's like a direct line to you, and they'll be able to figure out who you are. So you need to cut off Ferrix, basically just abandon Bix and Cassian and all of them, right? Because remember, they sent what's her name, Vern, or whatever her name is. They sent her to go kill Cassian, because Cassian knows too much. Cassian knows what Luthen looks like. He was even aboard Luthen's ship, so like, basically Luthen's like real concerned about covering his tracks now that the mission is over. And the way to do that, of course, is to kill the people that you hired to do the job, which I gotta say, that really sucks, because like at the beginning of this show, I was like all team Luthen, like Luthen's cool, he's a great guy, but now it's like, man, he's just now Andor just knows too much. You went through all this trouble to get Cassian on the team, and now he's just a liability. Like, I don't know, it's just like, come on, man. Really? Anyway, so they cut off Ferrix, so Bix is pretty much left there alone. But they while they still had the comms on, they said, Luthen said something like, her name is Bix, and then next thing I know, the Empire's there on Ferrix looking for Bix specifically. And so it's like, were they listening in on were they listening on Luthen? Did they already have like, because he said that while they were trying to communicate, was like, is that what just happened? I don't entirely know. It wasn't that clear to me exactly how the Empire knows who Bix is and why it's looking for her specifically. But they're there. They captured the hotel guy, and then they're after Bix, and they're like, hey, it's you, we got your picture, and then they end up finding her, and so now she's in trouble. She's gonna be interrogated next episode. I think Deidre was there, right? Yeah, Deidre was there. Deidre even does this thing where, like, which is, again, I guess they're just showing how cruel the Empire is. They have the hotel manager, Bix's friend, like tied up to the chair, all beat up, and then before Bix comes in the room, she's like, oh, I want Bix to see her, or see this guy. I want her to see what happened to him. And then when she walks in the room, she suddenly is like, oh, what are you doing? Get him out of here. She doesn't need to see this. Kind of like putting an act on for Bix, making it seem like that was an accident or something. I don't, it's just interesting psychological mind games going on there. But yeah, so they managed to find Bix, and I can only the way that it was cut together makes it seem like they heard Luthen say her name, maybe because Bix had the channel open, and of course the ISB had like surveillance all over Ferrix, right? So something like that was happening, it seems like. But basically, yeah, Bix is in trouble, Cassian's mom's in trouble, Luthen completely cut off Ferrix. But maybe they already are gonna find out who Luthen is now, this Axis guy. Meanwhile, Luthen, he goes off to Saw Gerrera, and he's trying to like sell him things and trying to get him to work with this other party. And Saw Gerrera is like, I'm not gonna work with those people. Those people are separatists, you know. And he drops a bunch of names that I'm not familiar with, a bunch of different groups of rebel cells, I guess. And basically talks how like, oh, all their causes are lost. I'm the only one with like a clear mindset. I'm doing it right. And so it kind of just shows you how divided the rebels really are. Like there's not like a unified group yet, you know. Everyone's just like, they think they're doing things the right way. So we're gonna see where that goes, you know. Like Luthen doesn't end up selling them the thing. Saw says no. But I'm sure we'll see more Saw Gerrera later on. And yeah, that's kind of where it ends. Just I'm not forgetting anything, you know. Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma has a couple of dinner parties, and she's having difficulty moving the money that she's been saving because the Empire's like cracking down a lot more now. You know, they basically put together, they put forth some kind of new bill or whatever they call. I forget what they called it, but basically everyone in the jails are getting resentenced, I guess. Like, I don't know if that means like they're literally getting charged a second time, or and basically everyone's getting a harsher sentence. The Empire's grip is tightening because of what happened on Aldhani, and you know, it was basically the Empire responded, and which of course turned out to be what Luthen wanted. He wanted, you know, the Empire to respond so harshly that everyone's gonna be like, oh man, the Empire sucks, you know. Like, that's his long-term plan, I guess. But anyways, it's getting real difficult for Mon Mothma to move the money around because now she's being watched extra carefully. Her and her friend that she recruited last episode. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where we leave things. Andor's in prison. I don't know what they're building. Unless I missed it, I have no idea what these engine looking things are that they're actually making for the Empire. I'm sure someone out there can already tell me. And yeah, Luthen, man, I thought Luthen was a cool guy, but he, you know, he's so quick to just like, now that the mission's over, he'll just like, all right, I gotta cut ties with everyone, and I need to, you know, if I can just get Andor to die, that way no one knows what my name is or what my face is, that would be great. Like jeez, Luthen. Ah, man. You know, anyways, really interesting stuff. I think her name is Vern. Vern is, I don't know where she's going, because her girlfriend, you know, which is was it Cietra? These names, I don't know. The one from the, you know, one of the other members of that rebel group, the Aldhani group. They're there waiting for Cassian to show up. They're watching Cassian's friends, just like sitting there having coffee. They kind of talk about how like, hey, the mission comes first, there'll be time for us later. And I don't know where Vern goes. She just like gets on a transport and she's going somewhere. I looked at the conversation again, and they don't really discuss where she's going, but she's gone. Anyways, yeah, that was Andor episode 8. Yeah, episode 8. What episode is this? Episode 8. Yeah. And look, you know, we know that this is the second chapter in the 3-episode arc, so next episode should be the one where things really blow up. I suspect they're finally gonna figure out who Luthen is, and they're gonna start hunting him down, and maybe, who knows, maybe all of a sudden Luthen's gonna be like, oh, you know what, I actually need Cassian's help now, so maybe it's good that he's not dead yet. You know, so who knows how this is gonna turn out. But man, I'm disappointed in Luthen, real disappointed. And of course, Tales of the Jedi is also out. I will be watching that and doing a review later. Really excited for that. That should be pretty cool stuff. All right, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.